Hello everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Work in Progress series, and this is about the composition 1, which will entail two standing figures engage in some kind of a almost hostile exchange. I realized I never actually talked about the whole composition. Nevertheless, let's say this is the large sheet of paper that I mentioned, and those two figures will take up maybe about that much space. And then what I'm kind of trying to do is each of these figures, as they take up a pose standing, they will have sort of a they will have I'm trying to show their internal life, so I'm going to put a kind of a cloud of happenings in there, and essentially that will be the main part of the whole composition. Now these two clouds will be full of figures. So what we will do today, we'll just I'll just improvise. There's going to be, obviously I'm talking about a conflict here, so there's going to be, these figures will be engaged in some sort of a exchange, a heated exchange. So what I'm going to do today, let me just change the paper. What I'm going to do today is just free-forming, just improvising on subject of two figures engaged in some kind of a struggle, some kind of a almost like wrestling, or a heated exchange. So all that I'm trying to do, this is not going to be an exact anatomical study, so there's no obviously the figures needs to be recognizable, so the content, the emotional content, is more important than exactness of anatomy. So all that is required at this stage of preparation is just going with the flow, just improvising of what comes. So kind of start, let's say. Let's say it's almost like a kind of a wrestling thing here. Now the whole purpose of showing you this is I talked to you several times about the importance of anatomy, importance of building a visual language, a language consisting of the shapes of the human body. Now, the reason for that is that you load up that language and then you use it for expression. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm working out some kind of a wrestling match, and I'm just using these what I know about the figure, just out of my head, what I kind of on the fly can imagine and visualize, and I'm just playing with that. So, and there might be a kind of a shortcuts that I will apply, but essentially what I'm doing, and this is what it all boils down to, is I'm working with massing, kind of. So I'll just determine some sort of a general direction of the legs. Now this would be maybe a good opportunity to, or good point where I could introduce the other body, the opponent, let's say, somewhere there. And you can see how kind of all this torso, I'm kind of just very lightly indicating on the other side, so I can get so I can get some kind of a grip on proportions, on relationship between the two bodies. And like I said earlier, I don't necessarily at this stage do, all the just drawing in the rib cage first and all that. I'm more than that. I'm kind of work with masses, with the large shapes of the body. So let's say this guy's hand reaches somewhere about there, and his leg would be something like that, and maybe the other one will be, maybe he's in kind of almost like a semi-flight. Maybe he's trying to so I'm looking at in kind of working with proportions, but proportions is not a really good not a good word to use. It's more kind of working with masses. So if I know that this is roughly the torso of this man here, then his forearm would be I just put in something that would be appropriate to that size, and same goes for this part of the body. And as I go, it's important to be able to shift and resize as you go, as you see how the the bodies kind of develop. Sometimes you will be spot on, sometimes not. Sometimes you have to rethink what's happening. But many of the things that I do are really discussed in the lectures, where the structures, the bodily structures are discussed and therefore easier to understand. So now this guy here is a little bit too small, so I'll just get him a little bit more muscle there, so that I get some sort of a relative proportion to that. And sacroiliac crest, put in his bum somewhere there, and obviously the head will need to be slightly larger to accommodate the arm. And then let's say this leg goes all the way back here, some sort of a, just to support that thrust forward, and he would anchor himself on the other leg in some. See how I'm trying to establish the ground that these two guys are standing on. So when when I kind of describe these legs, then I do get something that the two bodies will actually be in the same space. Maybe this way. The contour lines again. I say it every single time. These are really good tools to use. The contour lines, they're really helpful in describing the shape of a mass. So about this leg coming down here? Something like that. The knee, and then the gastrocnemius group here in the back. Very, very powerful visual clues that are immediately recognizable and therefore very descriptive of what it is that you're showing. So let's say this foot comes down, something like that. Maybe he's holding his neck here, giving a bit of a grip, this other arm, so it comes up. It's hidden behind the bodies. As they're hanging onto each other, trying to get a grip, get the wrestling going. Maybe this other leg would be in the air. Maybe he's trying to kind of use the momentum of his own weight, of his own body. So this other leg is lifted in the air, trying to shift all that weight forward while still balancing on this one here. Yeah, something like that. So it's really you will discover later on that more important than accurate anatomy is probably the rhythm of the shapes of the body. This I like this grip some way. If I maybe push it a little bit further, let's say that this whole arm is wrapped around this guy's neck, and then let's say something like this, and maybe it needs to have the hand like this. Be a bit smaller, and then this guy would have probably his body somewhere there, like he's bent over, and maybe his arm is coming down like that. Maybe he's trying to grip on this arm. It's kind of making all these rhythmic movements, trying to see what would work. So there's the shoulder somewhere, there's his head, there's the other hand. And so this other guy would be somewhere just there. That's his arm. So his shoulders are somewhere there. His head. So it's all this kind of searching what works well. And maybe he's holding his own hand here. Trying to do a really big, exert a really big pressure on that grip, and then his body would be something like this, ending somewhere there, and maybe even I'm thinking maybe have his leg there. This other guy, his pelvis. His leg coming forward, trying to counteract the pressure here. That's his head. Fight it off, and this guy is kind of using the weight of his body to to strangle the other guy, kind of. Yeah, not too bad. Just pull my drawing board over a bit so I can use this other half of the paper. How about the traditional kind of, the let's say there's a body down there. Something like this, right? And the other guy here, I don't think I left enough space. I haven't. Anyway, I'll do just the torso, because that's probably the most important part of this view, where his head would be kind of wedged in, and then the pectoralis major goes all the way up into this kind of a lifted position, and from here we have the arm coming up. So there's you can see how wavy it all is, how large the changes, the rhythmic changes are. I know obviously you have the creation of the armpit, which is explained in the lectures, where all these muscles come together, and then you have the deltoideus just there in the back, and serratus anterior, and on the other side, how does it work on the other side? Pretty much the same thing, except for the arm goes something like this. So this is the classical kind of a pose of a, I don't know, a swordsman delivering a stroke. And obviously, as I said, this body would be somewhere kneeling on the ground, so it would be much lower, somewhere here. I didn't leave enough space, but this would be the working out the arms, and then maybe the body itself would have a bit of a, almost like kinetic motion, or it's almost like to deliver that deathly blow, you would put your weight in it. You would use gravity to so he's almost like he's falling forward in the trying to deliver that blow. Just change the paper, my board back where it was, and do something else. Maybe I could do let's try this one. This is quite good. Again, I'm thinking this could be quite good. I'm thinking wrestling again, kind of. And I'm just working very quickly out the basic mass. Let's say there's a guy here. That's that has just wrestled this other person down to the ground. So the other person, that's his chest, let's say, and then would be the head somewhere there. So if this is the knee on the ground, the head should be somewhere here. So you're constantly kind of thinking in terms of how the bodies are lying on the ground, what would come where. And you have the skull. You do need to draw some skulls to visualize how that would look when the head is upside down and lying down on the ground. Obviously it's got a neck somewhere there, but immediately you've got the powerful shoulder muscles just lying on the ground. So this needs to be on the same ground. This piece is here, and then he's got his own deltoids, let's say arm somewhere there, and this guy. He's got the weight of his body on this other person. So I'm trying to squeeze the life out of him, I guess. His head is up, and maybe let's do that. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe what we could do is, so he's got his powerful arm somewhere there, and maybe with the other arm he's kind of in a sort of a wrestling position. Maybe he's holding this other guy's thigh. So let's say he's see, what I'm doing is I'm constantly, as I'm drawing, I'm trying to keep in my mind's eye the whole scene. So it's almost like you're coloring in. So it's not on the paper yet, but I roughly know or have an idea where it's supposed to go. So this guy, let's say his hand is somewhere there. Now this is this guy's bum, and maybe he's holding his leg up like that. So this guy's leg would be somewhere ending somewhere there behind this head. So I'll just put in the calf, the lower leg, and end it somewhere there, so it would come up something like that, right? That's about the proportion. Now, but this person's head is here, is in the way, trying to wrestle him, give him the terrible grip, and the chest needs to maintain its volume, so this is where his pectoralis comes up, and we can't really see his how it connects because this leg is here. Maybe bring it a little bit down even, and then you have this arm here, but in front of that is this man's arm, kind of a sense of almost like giving up. So see, it's that kind of rhythm. It's constantly kind of tying one thing into the next and next and next and next. All the while you're actually making something that has realism to it. That's the ear, that's the eye, nose. Maybe this guy could have a terrible scream. I'm gonna get you. Right, so that's where his hand is. This is the other hand, that's the other. So this guy obviously would have another leg there somewhere. And this would have another, that would be his foot. That makes sense, doesn't it? And this guy's leg would be kind of resting on the ground for support. I don't know, I haven't worked out yet where his other leg is. Maybe he's looking from the top, maybe this is one of the legs, the other one goes like that to the side, on the other side there. And obviously he would have his foot again, lifted toe in strain. Something like that, and then he would have his arm just maintaining his balance as he's pulling on this leg. While this guy, see, where is his other hand? His other hand could be, let's say that's the shoulder there, the other shoulder is there. Maybe he could have it trying to wrestle this guy. Yeah. So there's nothing definite about these shapes. There's no finish in it. There's no obviously later on if you want to work out exactly how those muscles are, the more realistic you want, then you just do that body part. You already know the arrangement of the bodies. You already know what the content is, and then you can focus on the anatomical correctness. Then you can do it with shading. You can do a more accurate rendering. It's really, it's a lot of it's really a lot of what I'm trying to get you guys to do is a lot of creation in it. There's a lot of playfulness going back and forth, and animating these bodies in your mind and seeing how they land on the ground and what they look like, and so on and so on. So so I'll keep doing this. I will do a few more episodes, just adding more figures. But this is like I said in the basic composition, so we have in the front the two guys talking to each other. They will have a basic expression what we worked on in the first video of this composition series. So they have an attitude of I think this guy is really dismissive. This guy is kind of pleading with him, and oh please. And I'm making this cloud here of their internal life, of their own struggle, and whatever's happening, they will have the struggle within themselves, and then they will have the struggle between the two of them. So it's going to be quite populated with figures with struggling, and quite a bit to go. It's going to take some time. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this second episode of Composition 1, Work in Progress, and I'll see you with the next one. Thanks for watching.